When I walked out here this morning, I didn't think I had much to do today. Yeah, I was wrong. So much to do, way more to do today than I thought I actually had to do. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So tomorrow Kyle's coming up to do the rotated setup for the car. Because he's coming up here to do that, I need to get as much of the parts back on the car today as I can and find homes for them. So that way we kind of know the space that we're working with tomorrow with this rotated setup. God, yeah, there's just a lot going on. I just got the coil radiator in, as you guys saw. I got rid of that old Mishimoto one that I've had in the car for, well, since I bought it, but I know that radiator's been in the car for like 10 plus years because when I first got the car, I found documentation from all the prior owners, and I was able to find the second owner of the car, and he's the one who put the radiator in the car back in like 2011. So that Mishimoto radiator's been in the car for like 10 years at this point. So it was time to upgrade. So we got a nice coil. Now, coil surprised me because I was going to have Kyle just weld on a 1/8 NPT bung for me onto the radiator for the coolant temp sensor that I have in the car, or the coolant gauge, the Defi one. Coil provides one. 10 out of 10 on that. Look at that. They just give you a 1/8 NPT bung for a coolant temp sensor, so that's actually super dope. Today, the rear timing guides come in for these rear timing covers so we can get the rest of the clear covers back on the car. I'm going to get this guy bolted up to the block here soon, and we're going to get the throttle body put on there so that way we can test some stuff. Over here on the table, I've got the wiring harness that I need to get back in. I've got this sweet Melee battery that I'm finally throwing in the car that I've had sitting around for a little while. This Odyssey one, it's been doing great in a lot of cars and a lot of time over the years, but I do want a slightly stronger battery in the car. Plus, our friends down at Melee sent us this one, so huge shout out to the guys down at Melee, as always, for sending up their awesome batteries. I'll have a link down in the description if any of you guys want to go check that out. We need to get this dual reservoir back in, the Killer B one. We need to find a home for our fuel pressure regulator. We're going to reuse some of this intercooler piping here. This is a stock Cobb piping, but I am going to cut this off for Kyle so that way he can just bead roll a new bead onto it for us. Ethanol sensor stuff. I'm going to get the wiring ran for the ethanol sensor, as well as get the sensor's location kind of mocked up because I don't know where I'm going to put the ethanol sensor quite yet. And then I also want to get this AOS finished being ran for the most part, so that way I just have less hoses dangling absolutely everywhere in here. So first up, let's start with something easy. Let's just work our way from this side of the car over to that side. We'll get our... Actually, let's do the battery first because I want to keep as much of the crap out of the way as I can. So let's get this old battery out. I just have this tray riveted down to the actual chassis. It's a battery mount for a 15 plus WRX and STI that I kind of modified and made work for this. So let's get that out of here. Let's get our new one in there. Are you the right size? Yeah, you are. Look at that. Surprisingly enough. Supposed to bolt up, because this don't look like it bolts up very well. How are you supposed to bolt up? We're gonna do the good old Smeedia way and just drill some holes. Why don't I just, can I do a rivet right there? What is in my way right now? The goddamn battery tray. Oh yeah, dude, that ain't going nowhere. Boom, new battery is in and it is secure. It's not going anywhere. I don't know why. I thought, like, I understand the theory behind this. I totally get the theory. You're supposed to slide it in, it's supposed to lock in place, and then you thread the nut through there and it holds it all down and whatnot. But personally, I'll just rivet it. Like, for me, I'll just rivet it down and make sure it don't go anywhere. This thing's dope. this like pneumatic riveting gun. Matt got that, and first time I've actually been able to use it, and it works flawlessly when you can actually get the gun to where you need it to go. So now that we have our battery in, I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the coolant overflow tank with the washer reservoir in there just to get that in the engine bay too. Like I said, I'm trying to clean up everything in here so that way we just know how much room we have to work with when it comes to fabrication tomorrow, and it'll make life a little bit easier for Kyle and I, so that way we can mock everything up. So let's get that guy in next. Let me hook up all of these other random cables that I have going over here. We'll get the engine harness in and then continue with what we have on the table. But before we do that, I have a really exciting announcement for you guys. As you guys know, I like to make bad decisions, take apart my only running car, and throw a big turbo on it, because who doesn't like to do that? But because I like to down my only running cars, I still need a car to drive. So Melanie is always nice enough to let me drive her Impreza around. We put a lot of miles on that car, and because of that, we are doing regularly scheduled maintenance a lot sooner than probably most other people out there. So with that, we do a lot of oil changes. We have partnered up with Haviland and Techron, two incredibly awesome brands that I am very excited to work with. And the first product that they sent over that I've already used once is this Smart Change oil system. Now, I actually like this a lot more than I thought I would, because with most oil change bottles that I'm using, the only way to equalize pressure in the bottle when you're filling up the car so you don't get like the air pockets that come out and they go like glug glug, is to stab the bottle. Yeah. But if you stab the bottle, you can't reuse the bottle to put all of your old oil in. So they came up with this pretty neat system called the Smart Change. So it's, have you ever had like wine in a bag or boxed wine? It's pretty much boxed oil in a bag. It's actually kind of neat. You get like a nice little carrying handle on the side of it to be able to fill things up, and it pours incredibly smooth. Look how easy that is. Look at that. It just goes right in. Dude, that's actually so nice that it doesn't like glug glug glug. There is a nice little window on the side of the box as well, so that way you can see how much oil you have left. Plus, with these Smart Change packaging that Haviland has created, you get 20% more oil, 70% less plastic. So I mean, it's really a win-win overall. You just poke in the little spout on the top, you pull up on the spout, you lock it in place, and then you can push that piece of cardboard back down and it secures it, and then you can easily just take off the cap and fill it up. We have these nice Subaru Funnels that we put on all of our cars because I'm just a messy person in general when it comes to fluids. So huge shout out to Haviland and Techron. I am very excited to be working with them in the future as well and showing you guys some other cool products that they've sent over. But with that, get back to building this big turbo STI because we all want to see it run. We all want to see it make some power. This guy right here is probably going to be the easiest thing to install out of everything on the car today. Two 10mm bolts. Just two 10s, that's all. All of those cables need to move. Okay, cables. There's so many of them. Now this guy can go right into his home right there. Actually, you know, I should probably plug in the wiring harness down there first because I've got a lot going on over here right now. So we're gonna hold off on doing anything in the car right now because I need to fix something that you guys actually told me I shouldn't have done, and I kind of agree with you. I need to get that connector onto that harness. This is the connector for the ethanol sensor. I remember when I cut these off because these used to go to the TGVs. I was like, hey, we're deleting TGVs. I'm never going to run ethanol in this car because this car is just going to be a daily driver and it's just going to stay as it is. So because of that, I need to get this connector back onto that harness. So let me solder that guy up real quick, or let me crimp it on. Crimps are going to be better than solder for something like this. My ADD kicked in and I just started going off track. So I was playing with the wiring. I got the wiring loom figured out for the most part. I can't do like final set down of the wiring loom until I get my manifold and I can bolt everything down and run it the way it needs to be ran. But after that, I started going on like coolant stuff, and I got like the lower radiator hose on. I got the firewall coolant lines on that go up to the heater core and everything like that. Now I'm curious on something. I'm very curious on this. Curious if I can make my Cobb intercooler piping work with this. So I got the throttle body bolted up to the manifold here. I have this tube right here, which I'm about to cut. We're gonna cut this guy right here because this goes down through there and then comes out down there to our charge piping. So I'm gonna cut it somewhere about like right there, and then just see if we can run a 90-degree coupler off that, and then just do like an L right there, which I already think I have. So actually, let me get that like shoved in there. Let me mark it and let's get that cut. So let me come here. I'd say for safe measure, let's cut it like right there. Now keep in mind, my cuts are not going to be straight, but they'll work for right now. We can clean them up later. So now I can take this pipe out, bring it up here. Let's go cut this thing. I cut a pipe. If you guys don't have a whirlybird, I'm gonna link one of these down in the description because this is probably one of my most used tools is a whirlybird that just cleans up burrs. I have a wheel, I have a grinding stone. What am I doing? I could easily just deburr this on there. I know that this pipe will go down through there and connect up to this guy. I honestly think if I cut it right there, I could probably make it work. It'd probably be better just to have Kyle do it, but... How close does that get us? I feel like that's gotta be pretty freaking close. I feel like I just fabricated some intercooler piping out of some old intercooler piping. I don't know. So I got the stock intercooler piping cut up quite a bit. This pipe looks like we don't really have to do much to it other than bead roll it and then have it go up here. But this pipe needs to be a little bit longer to be able to clear where the alternator is going to sit right there. So that's not going to happen. That pipe's not going to work, but it was a valiant attempt. I thought we could use this pipe, but then I sent the picture to Kyle. I was like, hey Kyle, look, I did a thing. I am FABRICATOR. And he was like, ha! We're not gonna have any pipes going under the intake manifold, so they're all gonna be like concealed down here, which I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So, well, you can just come right out of there. I cut that pipe, cut all the pipes. Oh well. So I think I can keep going on with this smaller stuff, just to keep like figuring out how much space we got here. I was playing with this ethanol sensor, the Cobb one that I got, and this bracket is dumb. Cobb, why would you think this bracket's a good idea? This bracket it's not even the same as in your instructions. They want it to go right there. Why the hell would I have, no, that's a big no for me. That's a big no right there, Johnny. So I think I might lop that edge of the bracket off right there, drill a hole in it there, and then mount it somewhere. I don't know, maybe up there on like the top of the firewall or something. I'll find a home for it. I just don't understand, like, Cobb, what? Okay, so my dummy self has been playing with this for a while, and if I would have just read the instructions, I would have figured this out a while ago. But Cobb gives you a different bracket for 02 to 05s. So what I'm gonna do right now is I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to mount my fuel pressure regulator. I know it's going to go right here because the Killer Bee reservoir that I had here before, unfortunately, it just doesn't fit with the flex fuel sensor there. So what I'm gonna end up doing right now is get the return line done from this ethanol sensor up to our soft line up there. So I think I'm gonna use like a 180-degree fitting, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna play with some fittings to get this thing like worked out just so I can get that part of the fuel system done with. Then we'll figure out how we're gonna mount our fuel pressure regulator right there. If I had the stock bracket that came with this Aeromotive A1000, I'd be just fine, but I cannot find it for the life of me. So I've been like trying to avoid making brackets by like cutting up ones that I have laying around and trying to make them work and whatnot. So I'll figure something out, but for now, let's get a fuel line made for this guy. So 120, how would that work? Where's a 180? That would not work. What a 45? Hell no. I think this 120 right here is going to be our best bet. Can I have my line back, or can I have my fitting back, please? Bro, you did not just cross thread on there. I know you did not. Get a nice straight cut. Ow, you son of a bitch. Oh, that fucking hurt. Get stabbed by a piece of steel braid in the wire. Make me bleed my own blood. So we've got our first AN line done from the ethanol sensor going back up to the hard line. Then our fuel pressure sensor, I want to get it to sit like right there so I can just do a straight shot between these two. So then have return go through the ethanol sensor up through and then have both the returns off the fuel rails come here. One of them is going to be quite a long return, but there's nowhere to really mount this securely up here that I found that I've liked. I don't know, I'm going to keep trying to find this bracket. Melanie and I are going to go run down to Subaru though. Hopefully our timing guides are in. And I need to grab a couple other smaller things to keep going on fuel lines. I don't know how far I'll get tonight. If anything, I'll just keep going as Kyle's like fabricating tomorrow. Hey, we're back, baby! So, went over to Lowe's, grabbed some of these P-clips. These things come in handy so much when you build a car. You have no idea. If you're putting like wiring harnesses, line, anything like that anywhere, and you want to make sure it stays in place, P-clips. I'll link these down below because you can never have enough P-clips. Also got the new timing belt guides. Now I should have known better on this. I should have known better and I didn't. Subaru, of course, doesn't give you the hardware for them. So, of course, Subaru also didn't stock the hardware. I don't know what's up with dealerships. Just like, I understand like dealerships stocking like oil filters, oil. Why not bolts? I don't get it. I'll never understand. So, first thing I want to do, I'm going to mess with this AN line that I have for the fuel feed coming from the fuel pumps. I'm going to get that P-clip down so that way I can get one less line like floppy doing around in the engine bay. Then we're going to get the timing belt guides on, get the clear covers on. Then I'm going to see what time it is after that because it's starting to get like a little, the sun's going down. So let's see how much farther I can get tonight before Kyle shows up tomorrow. Boo, 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 boo. Okay, we've got our fuel line secured down right there. The other spot I want it secured down is right there, so... Oh god, that was scary. Goes here, right here. Now this is how a Subaru engine bay should starting to look here. I am about it with the fat turbo right back here. I could mock it up right now. I just don't want to hold it because that thing gets heavy, but glad that we got a lot of this stuff worked out today. So our timing covers are on. We got our radiator in, our coolant temp sensor figured out. We trimmed up the radiator fans a little bit more. We got the power steering hooked up to the power steering pump. I damaged that clamp, so I'm going to see if I can't find an AN fitting for that. That'll just make life a lot easier. Finally got the ethanol sensor over here figured out. We have our return line ran on the ethanol sensor up into our hard line up here. We have our wiring harness put back in, our battery put back in. You know, now that I'm actually saying everything that we did a lot more than I thought we did. We cut up some intercooler piping, destroyed the intercooler piping for the Cobb intercooler. It's whatever. We got our fuel line pretty much figured out right down there for the feed and everything else. So we've done a lot today to get ready for when Kyle shows up tomorrow. So he's going to be doing the cold side of the intercooler piping right here for us. He's going to be doing the hot side of the intercooler piping. So we're going to utilize this stock pipe here that goes down to the intercooler, and then it's probably just going to wrap up to the turbo right there, which will make life a lot easier. He just doesn't want to run anything under the manifold, which I don't blame him. It'll look a lot cleaner with it going like this rather than underneath the manifold. So, you know, no complaints with that. Looking forward to having Kyle come up tomorrow and actually do all of this fab work for us. So while it may seem like we are getting close to finishing this car again, we're still a pretty decent ways out. We still have to do all the fabrication stuff, turbo placement, down pipe, up pipe, intercooler piping. I don't have a base tune yet, so I need to call Surgeline tomorrow and try to figure out what we're going to do with a base tune, break-in tune. I have a feeling it's going to be a very rough break-in tune, because for something like this, normally they take it to a dyno, or normally you take your car to a dyno, break it in there, get it going there, and then drive the 1,000 or 2,000 miles, whatever your break-in mileage is set to. So something like this, I don't quite know how it's going to work with the break-in tune. Once I call Surgeline tomorrow, I'll update you guys on that one, but pretty good progress. I'm happy with it. It's looking more and more complete every single day we come out here and work on it. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you like the video, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be, go ahead and hit that button. One of these corners, no idea which one I'll put it in quite yet, but with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.